The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 1, 2 Samuel 19 and 1, 2 Samuel, the 19th chapter, and the first verse. This is bad. Joab scolds David. This man has just lost his son. There's all kind of confusion in this house, and you're scolding him. People told Joab what happened. Look, the king is crying, mourning for Absalom. So the joy of victory turned to sadness for everyone. It was a very sad day because the people heard the king is mourning for his son. The people came into the city quietly as if they were the ones who had been defeated in battle. The king had his face covered and was crying loudly, "Oh, my son, Absalom! Oh, Absalom, my son, my son!" Joab came into the king's palace and said to the king, "You are humiliating every one of your officers. Look, they saved your life today and the lives of your sons and daughters and your wives and slave women. It seems that you love those who hate you and you hate those who love you. Today, you've made it clear to your officers and men that they mean nothing to you. Now, you have killed this man's son. You killed that boy. This man is mourning his son, and you're going to talk to him like that. He should, well, I won't say what he should have did. It appears as if you would have been perfectly happy if Absalom had lived and the rest of us had been killed today. Now, get up and go encourage your officers. I swear by the Lord, if you don't go out and do that right now, not one man will be with you tonight. And that will be worse for you than all the trouble you've had since you were a child." Woo, you know what? I'll leave it alone. So the king went to the city gate. He's mourning the loss of his son. The news spread that the king was at the gate. So all the people came to see him except for the Israelites who had run away to their homes. That is ridiculous. No wonder David, when he was on his way out, said, "Take care of Joab." He should have did it. Well, let me stop. David is king again, but that's the devil. Joab is the devil. The tribes of Israel began discussing what to do next. They said, "King David saved us from the Philistines and our other enemies. David left the country because he was running away from Absalom. We anointed Absalom to be king, to be the king, but he was killed in battle. So we should bring David back to be the king again." Now that's ridiculous. You all anointed another man to be king. Now you're talking about you want to bring David back. David should have said, "I will not." King David sent a message to Zadok and Abiathar the priest. David said, "Speak to the leaders of Judah and tell them, why are you the last tribe to bring King David back home?" See, all the Israelites are talking about bringing the king back home. You're my brothers, my family. So why are you the last tribe to bring the king back? Also tell Amasa, you're part of the family. I swear that I will make you captain of the army in Joab's place. All right, so David is plotting now to move Joab. Needs to send him to Siberia or to Alcatraz. David touched the hearts of the people of Judah, and they all agreed as one. The people of Judah sent a message to the king saying, "You and all our officers come back." King David came to the Jordan River. The people of Judah came to Gilgal to meet King David and take him across the Jordan River. I wouldn't trust them. If they turned on you like that, I would not trust them. Shimei, son of Gera. Shimei asked David to forgive him. Yeah, right. Shimei, son of Gera from the tribe of Benjamin, lived in Bahurim. Shimei rushed down to meet King David with the rest of the people of Judah. About 1,000 people from the tribe of Benjamin came with Shimei. Ziba, the servant from Sauls family, also came. This is a hot mess. All these people cussed him out, threw rocks at him, and now they want to come. Ziba lied. So you got a liar. Oh, my goodness. Ziba brought his 15 sons and 20 servants with him. All these people hurried to the Jordan River to meet King David. The people went across the Jordan River to bring the king's family back to Judah. They did whatever the king wanted. Yeah. While the king was crossing the river, Shimei, son of Gera, came to meet him. He bowed down to the ground in front of the king. Shimei said to the king, "My lord, don't think about the wrong things I did. My lord and king, don't remember the bad things I did when you left Jerusalem. I know that I sinned. That is why today I'm the first person from Joseph's family to come down and meet you, my lord and my king." Abishai, son of Zeruiah, said, "Let's kill him for all the..." I feel you, Abishai. Abishai said, "Let's kill him for all the bad things he said about the Lord's chosen king." David said, "What should I do with you, son of Zeruiah?" Well, you called him out his name. "Are you trying to cause me trouble? No one will put to death in Israel today. Today I know that I am king over Israel." Then the king said to Shimei, you will not die. The king made a promise to Shimei that he himself would not kill Shimei. Mephibosheth goes to see David. Saul's grandson Mephibosheth came down to meet King David. Mephibosheth had not cared for his feet, trimmed his mustache, or washed his clothes since the day the king left Jerusalem. When he met the king at Jerusalem, the king said, Mephibosheth, why didn't you go with me when I ran away from Jerusalem? Mephibosheth answered, my lord and king, my servant tricked me. I'm crippled. So I said to my servant Ziba, go saddle a donkey for me so that I can go with the king. But my servant tricked me and said bad things about me. These are some treacherous people in this Old Testament. Treacherous people, dirty and low down. My Lord and King, you're like an angel from God. Do whatever you think is right. You could have killed all my grandfather's family, but you did not do that. Instead, you included me among the people who eat at your own table. So I don't have a right to complain to the king about anything. The king said to Mephibosheth, don't say any more about your problems. That is what I've decided. You and Ziba will divide the land. Ziba shouldn't get nothing, David. Mephibosheth to the king said to the king, my Lord and King, it is enough that you've come home in peace. Let Ziba have the land. Mephibosheth, are you crazy? The man lied and took everything from you. Then David said, this liar gets half of your land. Now you're saying give it back to him? Nutty as a fruitcake. Nutty bunch. David asked Barzillai to come with him. Barzillai of Gilead came down from Rogelim to cross the Jordan River with King David and send him on his way home. Barzillai was a very old man, 80 years old. He had given food and other things when David was staying at Mahanaim. Barzillai could do this because he was a very rich man. David said to Barzillai, come across the river with me. I'll take care of you if you'll live in Jerusalem with me. But Barzillai said to the king, do you know how old I am? Do you think I can go with you to Jerusalem? I'm 80 years old. That's not old at all, but I guess it was old then. I'm too old to tell what is good or bad. I cannot taste what I eat or drink or hear the voices of men and women singers. Why should you want to be bothered with me? I don't need any things that you want to give me. I'll cross the Jordan River with you. Then please let me go back so I can die in my own hometown and be buried in the grave of my father and mother. But here's Kimham. Take him back with you as a servant, my Lord and King. Do whatever you want with him. Now, if the king told you to come with him, then that's what you should have did. The king answered, Kimham will go back with me. I'll be kind to him for you. I will do anything for you. But you should have followed the king's orders. David goes back home. The king kissed Barzillai and blessed him. Barzillai went back home, and the king and all the people went across the river. The king crossed the Jordan River to Gilgal. Kimham went with him, and all the people of Judah and half the people of Israel led David across the river. Israelites argued with the people of Judah. Here we go, more drama. All the Israelites came to the king and said to him, why did our brothers, the people of Judah, steal away with you? Why did they bring you and your family back across the Jordan River with your men? All the people of Judah answered the Israelites, we did it because the king is our close relative. Why are you so angry with us about this? We've not eaten food at the king's expense. The king did not give us any gifts. The Israelites answered, we have 10 shares in David. We have more right to David than you do. Why did you ignore us? We were the first ones to talk about bringing our king back. But aren't you the same ones that put him out? Now you want to argue over wanting David when all of you all turned on him. But the people of Judah replied with the words that were even louder and angrier than those of the Israelites. You all have some serious issues in this Israelite family. 2 Samuel 20. Sheba leads Israel away from David. Again? At that place, there was a man named Sheba, son of Bichri. Sheba was a worthless troublemaker from the tribe of Benjamin. He blew a trumpet to gather the people together and said, we have no share in David. We have no part in the son of Jesse. Israel, let's all go home. So all the Israelites left it. See, that's why I told you, David, you had no business trusting them. Talking about come on back to Jerusalem. See how these people are fickle. See how they turn just like that? So all the Israelites left David and followed Sheba, son of Bichri. And that's a mess. But the people from Judah stayed with their king all the way from the Jordan River to Jerusalem. David went back to his house in Jerusalem. He had left 10 of his slave women to take care of the house. He put these women in a special house. Then he put guards around the house. They stayed in this house until they died. David took care of the women and gave them food, but he did not have sexual relations with them. They lived like widows until they died. The king told Amasa, tell the people of Judah to meet with me in 3 days. You must be here too. So Amasa called the people of Judah together, but he took longer than the king had told him. David tells Abishai to kill Sheba. Okay, here we go. David said to Abishai, Sheba, son of Bichri, is more dangerous to us than Absalom was. So take my officers and chase Sheba. So I guess he said, I ain't dealing with this again. I'm not running. I'm not going to no wilderness. I'm not crossing no Jordan River. I'm tired, and it's not going to happen. So kill it. So take my officers and chase Sheba. Hurry before he gets into cities with walls. If he gets into the well-protected cities, we won't be able to get him. So Joab, you trust Joab. Joab killed your son. You're sending the devil to get the devil. So Joab took the Kerethites and Pelethites and other soldiers with him and left Jerusalem to chase after Sheba, son of Bichri. Joab kills Amasa. When Joab and the army came to Big Rock at Gibeon, Amasa came out to meet them. Joab was wearing his uniform with a belt that held a knife. As he walked toward Amasa, the knife on the belt came out. Joab asked Amasa, how are you doing, brother? Joab reached out with his right hand and grabbed Amasa by the beard to greet him with a kiss. Amasa didn't see the knife that was now in Joab's other hand. Joab stabbed him in the belly, and Amasa's intestines spilled out on the ground. There was no need for Joab to stab him again. He was already dead. I'm lost. So the king told Amasa, tell the people to do, and Amasa takes too long. So Joab kills Amasa. Okay, you're supposed to be killing Sheba, Joab, but you go and kill Amasa, the one that the king had sent out to tell Judah to meet him. I think Joab has some mental problems. David's men continued to look for Sheba. Then Joab and his brother Abishai resumed the chase after Sheba, son of Bichri, which you should have been doing in the first place. That's what your orders were. One of Joab's young soldiers stood by Amasa's body and said, all of you who support Joab and David, let's follow Joab. Amasa was there in the middle of the road lying in his own blood. The young soldier noticed that all people kept stopping to look at the body. So he rolled the body off the road into the field and covered it with a cloth. Once the body was out of the way, the people simply passed by it and joined up with Joab to go after Sheba, son of Bichri. Ooh, that's graphic. Sheba escapes to Abel Beth Makkah. Sheba, son of Bichri, passed through all the tribes of Israel on his way to Abel Beth Makkah. All the Berites joined together and followed Sheba. When Joab and his men came to Abel Beth Makkah, they surrounded the town. They piled dirt up against the city wall and began breaking stones out of the wall to make it fall down. But there was a wise woman in that city who shouted out to them and said, listen to me. Tell Joab to come here. I want to talk with him. Joab went to talk with the woman. She asked, are you Joab? He answered, yes, I am. The woman said, listen to me. Joab said, I am listening. Then the people said, in the past, people would say, ask for help and able, and you'll get what you need. I'm one of many peaceful, loyal people in this town. You're trying to destroy an important city in Israel. Why do you want to destroy something that belongs to the Lord? Joab answered, I want to destroy anything. Yeah, right. I don't want to ruin your city, but there's a man in your city from the hill country of Ephraim. His name is Sheba of Bichri. He rebelled against King David. Bring him to me, and I'll leave the city alone. The woman said to Joab, all right, his head will be thrown over the wall to you. Woman, what did you do? Then the woman spoke very wisely to all the people of the city. They cut off the head of the Sheba, son of Bichri, and threw it over the city wall to Joab. So Joab blew the trumpet. The army left the city. The soldiers went home, and Joab went back to the king in Jerusalem. Woo! The people on David's staff. Joab was captain over the whole army of Israel. Too much power for Joab. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, led the Kerethites and Pelethites. And Aram led the men who were forced to do hard work. Jehoshaphat, son of Eliud, was the historian. Sheba was the secretary. Zadok and Abiathar were the priests. And Ira from Jair was David's personal priest. Now, what is a personal priest? What does that mean? 2 Samuel 21, Saul's family punished. While David was king, there was a famine that continued for 3 years. So David prayed to the Lord. The Lord answered Saul and his family of murders are the reason for the famine because he killed the Gibeonites. Gibeonites were not Israelites. They were a group of Amorites. The Israelites had promised not to hurt them, but Saul tried to kill the Gibeonites. He did this because of his strong feelings for the people of Israel and Judah. King David called the Gibeonites together and talked to them. David said to the Gibeonites, what can I do for you? What can I do to take away Israel's sin so that you can bless the Lord's people? Oh, so they cursed him? The Gibeonites said to David, there is enough gold and silver for Saul's family to pay for what they did, but we don't have the right to kill anyone else in Israel. David said, well, what can I do for you? The Gibeonites said to King David, the person who plotted against us was Saul. He is the one who tried to destroy all our people living in the land of Israel. Give us 7 of Saul's sons. I thought, David, you made a promise to Saul that you wouldn't kill any of his family. Give us 7 of Saul's sons. Saul was the Lord's chosen king, so we will hang his sons in front of the Lord on Mount Gibeah of Saul. Oh, so you won't kill him, but you're going to turn them over to be killed. Now, what will killing Saul's sons do? What did they have to do with this? King David said, all right, I'll give them to you, just bloodthirsty. But the king protected Jonathan's son Mephibosheth. Jonathan was Saul's sons, and David had made a promise in the Lord's name to Jonathan. You may also made a promise to Saul that you would kill any of his folk, but you're going to turn them over to be killed. So the king didn't let them hurt Mephibosheth. David gave them Armani and Mephibosheth. I thought you said you weren't going to hurt Mephibosheth. I guess this is another Mephibosheth. These were the sons of Saul and Rizpah. Saul also had a daughter named Reb, who was married to Adriel, son of Barzillai from Maholah. David took the 5 sons of Merib and Adriel. David gave these men to the Gibeonites, who then brought them to Mount Gibeah and hanged them in front of the Lord. Those 7 men died together in the spring during the first days of barley harvest. That's totally ungodly. It may be in the Bible, but it is not right. It is not right. David, that's not right. Gibeonites, not. You all could pray and repent. You didn't have to kill somebody that had nothing to do with that. David and Rizpah. Rizpah, the daughter of Ai, took a mourning cloth and put it on the rock. The cloth stayed on the rock from the time of the harvest began till the rains came. Rizpah watched the bodies day and night. She protected them from the wild birds during the day and the wild animals at night. People told David what Saul's slave woman Rizpah was doing. Then David took the bones of Saul and Jonathan from the men of Jabesh Gilead. The men of Jabesh Gilead got those bones after Saul and Jonathan were killed at Gilboa. The Philistines had hanged the bodies of Saul and Jonathan on a wall at Bethshean. But the men of Bethshean went there and stole the bodies from that public area. David brought the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan from Jabesh Gilead and buried them with the bodies of the 7 men who were hanged. They buried the bones of Saul and his son Jonathan in the area of Benjamin, in one of the tunnels in the grave of Saul's father Kish, as the king commanded. After that, God again listened to the prayers of the people in that land. Now, don't put God in that. Don't put God in that. That's something you all came up with. Don't put him in that. That's why the Bible said these times of ignorance God winked at. That's just ignorant. War with the Philistines. The Philistines started another war with Israel. Poor David. Now I'm starting to feel sorry for you. You messed up, but had Uriah killed. But good Lord. That's where the prophecy went forth. The sword will never leave your house. David and his men went out to fight the Philistines, but David became very tired and weak. Ishbosheth was one of the giants. His spear weighed over 7 pounds. He put on new armor and thought he'd be able to kill David. But Abishai, son of Zeruiah, killed this giant Philistine and saved David's life. David is getting tired now. You can tell it. Then David's men made him promise that he would not go out to battle anymore. They said, if you do, Israel might lose its brightest leader. So David is aging, and David is tired, and David is slipping. So sad to see. In like that, a man that was after God's own heart. Later, there was another battle with the Philistines at Gob. Sibbecai, the Hushite, killed Saph, one of the giants. Later, there was another battle at Gob against the Philistines. Elhanan, son of Jariah-Okiam, from Bethlehem, killed Ami, the brother of Goliath from Gath. His spear was as big as a post. There was another battle at Gath. There was a large man who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. He had 24 fingers and toes in all. This man also was one of the giants. This man challenged Israel and made fun of them. But Jonathan killed the man. This was Jonathan, the son of David's brother, Shimei. All 4 of these men were giants from Gath. They were killed by David and his men. Wow, wow, wow. This is the word of the Lord. Place those words in the comment section. Type, this is the word of the Lord. Follow, like, share, and subscribe. And encourage other people to read the Bible with us.